Coming up next on Passion Struck, we often hear the praises of living in the present moment, cherishing each fleeting instant. Yet, this singular focus on the here and now can sometimes steer us into unforeseen challenges, unraveling the harmony between our past, present, and future. Welcome to Passion Struck. Hi, I'm your host, John R. Miles, and on the show, we decipher the secrets, tips, and guidance of the world's most inspiring people and turn their wisdom into practical advice for you and those around you. Our mission is to help you unlock the power of intentionality so that you can become the best version of yourself. If you're new to the show, I offer advice and answer listener questions on Fridays. We have long-form interviews the rest of the week with guests ranging from astronauts to authors, CEOs, creators, innovators, scientists, military leaders, visionaries, and athletes. Now, let's go out there and become Passion Struck. Problem with living in the present is that it is often misunderstood. We're told to seize the day and relish every moment. And there's a certain allure to that mantra. But here's the kicker. Living in the present, when taken too literally, can lead us astray. It might even make us reckless or dismissive of our future selves and their needs. Sure, embracing nowness definitely has its perks. Less stress, more joy. It's like sipping from the chalice of contentment, an elixir that seems too good to be true. Sounds like a dream state, yet sometimes we get so caught up in chasing these fleeting moments of happiness that we forget about tomorrow's consequences until they smack us right in the face. In this episode, I'll explore the problem with living in the present, the power and pitfalls of present moment awareness, and how time thinking affects our lives. The true mastery lies in striking an equilibrium, gracefully dancing on the tightrope that bridges the past, present, and future. This equilibrium fuels growth and nurtures self-understanding. Along the way, we'll unravel the tug of war between instant pleasure and delayed gratification, unmasking the choices that shape the narrative of our lives. As our compass, I'll unveil 5 transformative strategies that empower you to bask in the present while honoring the past and guarding your future. Each strategy serves as a cornerstone, grounding you in the reality of now without sacrificing the wisdom of hindsight or the prudence of foresight. Let's begin by delving into the delicate art of balance, where the challenge lies in embracing the present without forsaking the future. In modern achievement culture, an intriguing tension often surfaces: the challenge of living fully in the present while also considering the implications of the future. This dichotomy is exemplified not only by celebrity figures like Steve Jobs, but also everyday individuals striving to strike harmonious balance between immediate gratification and responsible planning. Consider the life of Maria, an ambitious young professional with dreams of building her own business empire. Her unrelenting dedication to her goals leads her to spend countless hours working, strategizing, and networking. And while this drive is commendable, it comes with an important caveat. Maria's intense focus on her future aspirations sometimes leaves her disconnected from the joys of the present. Maria's story reflects a common narrative in our fast-paced society, where pursuing success often values extrinsic motivations over saving life's intrinsic satisfaction. The modern world bombards us with messages that champion seizing the day and living in the moment, which sometimes can encourage impulsive decisions without considering what lies ahead. Yet it's critical to realize that complete immersion in the present, devoid of thought for the future, can have its pitfalls. Just as a chef might hastily prepare a dish without adhering to the specific proportions of the recipe, an excessively present-focused individual could also struggle to grapple with unforeseen challenges due to a lack of future-oriented planning. Imagine Jack, who decides to embark on a spontaneous road trip with friends without considering the financial repercussions. While the trip may be a blast, the burden of credit card debt that follows can quickly turn those carefree memories into sources of stress. Living in the present moment, or what's fancily called present moment awareness, is often sold as a magic pill for all your stress and dissatisfaction. However, it isn't so straightforward. Sure, being fully immersed in the now can feel like a breath of fresh air. No worries about tomorrow, no regrets from yesterday. Sounds pretty damn liberating, right? Until it starts to look less like liberation and more like recklessness. You're living so much in the now that future consequences become an afterthought. Picture this scenario: an individual engrossed in the pursuit of their ideal life suddenly quits their job on a whim, believing that it's the path to ultimate happiness. In the short run, it might offer an intoxicating rush of satisfaction. However, without foresight and planning, they could unwittingly stumble into a future of financial instability. This, I'm afraid, isn't an isolated trap. It's a common pitfall. An excessive focus on present experiences can blind us to future consequences. Our quest for short-lived joy can imperil the realization long-held dreams. Furthermore, a relentless focus on the present can hinder progress towards such ambitious goals. Such aspirations demand a blend of foresight, planning, and the ability to endure less glamorous phases. The essence of equilibrium lies in harmonizing the enjoyment of current pleasures with the pursuit of future dreams. This equilibrium isn't a binary choice. It's an intricate dance. Just as bike riding requires riders to adjust their posture to maintain balance, we must navigate between impulsive indulgence and overzealous planning. Each present moment thread weaves into the fabric of the future, shaping a life enriched by both experiences and foresight. Adding another layer to the puzzle, let's meet the brain's constant companion, the natural negativity bias. This innate aspect of our psyche tends to spotlight negative experiences, harking back to our survival instincts. While once advantageous, this bias now collides with the pursuit of present moment experiences, heightening our sensitivity to negativity and reshaping our perceptions. So now let's talk a little bit about how to master time of past, present, and future thinking. You know how your mind is always on a travel trip, bouncing between the past, present, and future, like it's got some kind of temporal ADHD. Yep, that's what we call time musing, and it has a greater sway on our lives than you might imagine. The problem isn't just getting lost in thought, it's where those thoughts lead us. Studies show that people spend over half of their waking hours actually not living in the present moment. That means less time enjoying the good things that are happening right now because we're too busy playing mental ping pong with yesterday and tomorrow. Ruminating on old memories is like savoring aged whiskey, but with overindulgence, it becomes intoxicating. Similarly, when reflection becomes a habit, trouble brews. Happiness takes a back seat to regret, guilt, and sorrow. No one suggests abandoning nostalgia entirely. Just ensure that you return to reality before sunset. Your current circumstances deserve attention too. And what happens when we obsess over the horizon? A dash of forward thinking helps to weather storms, but obsessing over clear skies leads to anxietyville. While planning aids goals, excessive worry about uncontrollable uncertainties speeds up the wrinkles, which is not ideal. High stress hormones from fretting don't favor sleep quality or mental well-being. Spoiler alert, maintaining awareness of the past, present, and future is pivotal for fulfillment. So if we're not focused on the present, we're spending too much time drowning in nostalgia or overthinking tomorrow, what are we supposed to do? The key is the vitality of balance. A healthy life goes beyond green smoothies and yoga. It's about balancing present awareness with future goals informed by past experiences. Obsessing with the in the now might breed future regrets. Conversely, too much retrospection or future thinking overlooks fleeting moments, begging for present attention. Avoid pitfalls of zealously living in the now by acknowledging the importance of equilibrium. It's a delicate recipe for a fulfilling life where both present joy and future preparedness coexist. In a compelling Passion-Struck podcast interview that I did yesterday, I delved into the realm of present moment awareness with Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, a distinguished neuroanatomist trained at Harvard, whose research delves into unraveling the intricate mechanisms of which our brain constructs our perception of reality. Our illuminating discussion centered on her latest book, Whole Brain Living. Dr. Bolte Taylor introduces the notion of 4 characters that collectively contribute to our overall experience in life. First, we encounter the left-thinking rational brain, which is character 1. Next is character 2, representing the emotional tapestry woven through time, a thread interwoven with the pain of the past and the apprehensions of the future. Character 3 emerges as the emotion of the present moment, a symphony played out by specific brain cells, including the amygdala, hippocampus, hypothalamus, and cingula gyrus. This tissue within the right hemisphere is attuned to the rawness of the present, capturing sensations, experiences, and emotional currents as they unfold. As we delve deeper into character 4, the thinking tissue of the right hemisphere, a larger panorama emerges. Here, all things converge into an intricate web of interconnectedness, free from judgment. While judgment resides in the left brain characters, openness prevails in the realm of the present. In this openness, profound gratitude of existence flourishes, a sense of wonder for being part of a complex assembly of 50 trillion molecular geniuses, each endowed with unique abilities. Dr. Bolte Taylor's insights reveal the intricate interplay of these characteristics within us, illustrating how present moment awareness isn't just about being present, but embracing the entirety of our inner landscape. It's a journey of connection, a dance between characters that shapes our perception and enriches the tapestry of our lives. So, how do you find harmony between the present, the past, and the future? Imagine walking a tightrope where balance is paramount to avoid an unwelcome fall. It's a delicate art, just like maintaining equilibrium between your past, present, and future. Leaning too much in any one direction may lead to a tumble. Your past shapes who you are, while your dreams propel you forward. Right in the middle is the pivotal now, where reflection and aspiration converge into action. To truly navigate this temporal dance floor requires some fancy footwork, stepping away from what's happening right here, right now, when it serves us best. This might mean reflecting on those "what was I thinking" moments, or daydreaming about how sweet life could be if we just had X, Y, or Z. Reflecting on past mishaps or envisioning a brighter future isn't about dwelling in regrets or idle fantasies. It's gaining wisdom from your personal blooper reel and setting meaningful goals that drive your actions. Research shows that goal-oriented individuals tend to achieve success compared with those who lack defined objectives. But once you've ventured into these other time zones, whether they're behind or ahead of you, remember, you always have to come home. Returning home means returning fully engaged with whatever is unfolding before your eyes, without losing sight of where you've been or blindfolded against where you're heading. Acknowledging naturally occurring emotions as they pop up instead of shoving them under some mental rug ensures natural negativity bias doesn't color reality perception. Studies reveal that this strategy enhances emotional well-being by reducing stress levels, ultimately contributing to making healthier choices and leading a fulfilling life. So now let's go through some of the problems with living life in the present. We've all heard about the wonders of present moment awareness. Living in the present isn't always a positive experience. Sometimes this whole living in the now thing can backfire big time. In fact, fixating on the here and now can sometimes lead to unexpected stumbles. You see, one problem with making present moment awareness your only focus is that you might end up chasing short-term gratification like a dog who's after a squirrel. For instance, have you ever found yourself at a buffet, piling your plate with salad and appetizers, and then realizing that you've left no room for the main course or dessert? This scenario is quite similar to how we often approach life when we live in the present moment. We seek immediate satisfaction, short-term gratification, akin to those delicious but fleeting moments. Consider the impulse buys, binge-watching marathons to replace workouts, or the allure of junk food over nutrition. These choices all provide momentary pleasure, but often lack the substance for ongoing satisfaction. In contrast to this stands long-term rewards, which require patience and perseverance. They involve making decisions today that will benefit your future self, even if it means sacrificing some pleasure right now. For instance, saving money for retirement may not provide immediate joy compared to spending it on a luxury item. However, its value compounds over time, leading to financial security later down the line. Renowned psychologist Sonia Lyubomirsky introduced the concept of the hedonic treadmill. It suggests that we adapt swiftly to changes, including positive ones. We return to a baseline of happiness after short-term spikes for short-lived pleasures. In essence, while short-term fixes can briefly elevate our mood, they rarely sustain genuine contentment. Our ability to adjust swiftly to each experience raises expectations, necessitating an ongoing search for novelty to maintain the same level of satisfaction. This cycle can spiral into dissatisfaction when our needs are not consistently met. Anxiety disorders, particularly panic attacks, are another downside that's associated with overly focusing on what's happening right now without considering broader perspectives. These uninvited guests usually show up when you're so engrossed in your current circumstances that potential solutions seem unreachable, kind of like trying to find Waldo during an earthquake. Panic attacks aren't just mentally exhausting, they could even lead to physical health problems, like cardiovascular disease if left untreated. Hence, stepping out of intense now focus and adopting an objective perspective can significantly aid in their management. Another pitfall lies in exclusively attending to the present while disregarding the lessons of the past. History can unwittingly repeat itself by focusing solely on the immediate, leading to recurring errors. Replicating these mistakes due to a lack of self-awareness undermines self-confidence and hampers progress towards your desired goals. Now, let's decode the antidote, the art of balancing awareness. Living fully and consciously requires balancing the intricate interplay between the past, present, and future. The present is magnetic, pulling us into its euphoria, but don't be lured away from the wisdom that your past carries or the potential that your future holds. Embarking on this voyage of equilibrium, consider these strategies as your compass. The first is leaving room for reflection. Living in the present moment is certainly captivating, but the journey doesn't start and end here. Reflecting on past experiences provides an invaluable vantage point. Delving into your personal history reveals lessons that can prevent the repetition of mistakes and offer insights into your growth. You can identify patterns and behaviors that may elude your immediate awareness through reflection. These discoveries serve as guideposts, helping you to make informed decisions that steer you away from pitfalls that you've encountered before. Second, mindful present moment presence. While immersing yourself in the present is crucial, it's equally important to maintain a broader awareness. Practice mindfulness to fully experience each moment while gently holding awareness of your past and your future ambitions. This empowers you to respond intentionally to the present without losing sight of your overarching objectives. Third, strategic future focus. Envision your future with clarity and intent. Create a well-defined roadmap that aligns with your values, encompassing both short-term and long-term goals. By interweaving your present actions with your future vision, you ensure that every step that you take today contributes to the unfolding narrative of your life. Fourth, embrace impermanence. Recognize the transient nature of existence. Embracing impermanence allows you to let go of past regrets and anxieties about the future. By acknowledging the impermanent nature of each moment, you liberate yourself from the constraints of time and cultivate a profound acceptance of the ever-changing nature of life. Fifth, balance progress and patience. Celebrate your accomplishments while nurturing patience for what lies ahead. Acknowledge the progress that you've made and understand that meaningful growth unfolds over time. By finding contentment in both present achievement and future possibilities, you maintain a balanced perspective that prevents you from becoming overly fixated on the present moment. By integrating these strategies into your life, you're no longer confined to the present. Instead, you're cultivating a harmonious relationship with time, one that incorporates the lessons of the past, the richness of the present, and the promise of the future. This mastery will allow you to embrace the full spectrum of life's experiences while navigating a path of purpose and fulfillment. So I've covered a lot today. So in conclusion, let me wrap this up for you and give you some takeaways. The allure of now can sometimes blind us to future consequences or prevent reflection on past experiences. It's a nuanced art. As we explored the interplay of these temporal dimensions, it's evident that living fully encompasses more than dwelling in the present moment. While the churn of immediate pleasures can be captivating, it's essential to be wary of the potential blind spots it creates. When amplified by excessive present focus, our natural negativity bias can skew our perceptions and impede the realizations of our long-term dreams. However, this isn't a call to abandon the present. Rather, it's an invitation to navigate the corridors of time with intention. By incorporating reflective practices, you will gain invaluable insights from the past, enhancing your self-understanding and resilience. Simultaneously, charting a path towards future aspirations requires deliberate planning and patience. Striking the balance is no mere feat. It necessitates finesse in decision-making, mindful indulgence, and a discerning awareness of long-term consequences. Just as a skilled tightrope walker maintains equilibrium through subtle adjustments, we too must harmonize our awareness across time's dimensions. The art of balancing awareness isn't a destination, it's an ongoing journey. In essence, living fully doesn't mean ignoring what's ahead or behind, but rather integrating all three dimensions, past, present, and future, into a harmonious whole. I hope you all enjoyed that show, and I wanted to thank everyone who wrote in this week, and especially those who tuned in to today's episode. You're about to hear a preview of the Passion Struck podcast with visionary nature filmmaker and cinematographer Louis Schwartzberg. Louis' breathtaking films, from Fantastic Fungi to his latest masterpiece, Gratitude Revealed, have enchanted audiences worldwide, opening their eyes to the awe-inspiring beauty of the natural world. Louis takes us on a transformational cinematic journey, exploring how gratitude can lead to a more meaningful life.
Gratitude is not the answer. It's not the antidote to this mental health crisis that you're describing. It is a baby step in the right direction, because we tend to ruminate over and over about the negative things that are happening in our lives. The brain is sort of geared for survival, the fight or flight response, that takes over. So anything that's about fear, that touches the buttons about conflict, anxieties, it all creates stress. And that's unfortunately the bulk of entertainment that is occurring on screens or in social media. It's all to grab your attention.
Remember, we rise by lifting others, so share the show with those that you love. And if you found today's episode useful, then please share it with somebody that you know who could use the help that I provided today. In the meantime, do your best to apply what you hear on the show so that you can live what you listen. Now go out there and become passion struck.